I am on a mission to get around 100 on every map in Zombies history. The first game I've decided to tackle is my personal favorite, Black Ops 3. So today, we kick things off with Black Ops 3's launch map, Shadows of Evil. The Gobblegums I use for shadows are as follows: Perkaholic, Cashback, and Alchemical, and then we use Bullet Boost and Wall Power because for this strat we won't have access to Pack-a-Punch. The reason for that is that in Shadows of Evil, once you get past a certain round, you'll start to have meatballs spawn during normal rounds. These are annoying and they spawn very slowly, making round 100 take much longer. But if you don't ever do any rituals and you never open Pack-a-Punch, then they won't spawn during normal rounds at all, and they'll continue to only spawn during max ammo rounds. So now that the Gobblegums are set, we can load into the map and start setting up. Now this differs from a normal shadow setup almost immediately. You see, for this high round strat to work, we can't open the spawn door. I'll explain later why we can't, but for now just know that this door is the only door in the map that we cannot open no matter what. So then how do we get out of spawn? Well, we're going to use a popular beast mode route where you jump from spawn onto this car, then over this barrier to shock this panel, lifting the stairs. From there, we can run all the way up, running past the ritual that we already said we weren't going to do, and we can jump off the balcony into the map. Sounds pretty easy, right? And well, it is. There is one teensy little problem: death barriers. You see, since we never opened the spawn door, the game doesn't think we can be anywhere other than the spawn room. So almost all of the junction area is one big death barrier. But don't worry, there's another way that we can remove these barriers later. For now, if we drop from the balcony and sprint straight to the canals district and open that door, we can get to a safe part of the map without touching any of the death barriers. From there, we can grab the first shield part and the fuse, and then we can use the map's fast travel system, the tram, to get from the canals all the way over to the Footlight district. Of course, on the way, we're going to look for the symbols for the Apothecant sword, as that will be a vital part of our high round strategy. Now in the Footlight district, it's more the same: get a shield part, get a fuse, and then open the door from the Footlight district back to the junction. This actually drops the death barrier between the Footlight district door and the spawn door, but there is still one more death barrier over on the waterfront side. So we go back to the tram, and now we can head over to the waterfront district, grab all the goodies from over there, shield part, fuse, all that, and we can open that door to the junction, officially removing all the death barriers and letting us now freely roam the map. So now we can go build the shield, and we can throw the fuses in the silver protector to get that up and going. From here on out, the rest of the setup is fairly straightforward. We just need to get our symbols for the egg, we need to input those symbols so we can do the soul collection steps and get that sword up and going. Then we need to spin the box for little Arnie's, and by the time we do all of that, we should have all of the Apothecant servant parts spawned in, or we just need to finish going around and collecting the pods and stuff like that. While we're doing all these final steps, we're going to continue to spin the Gobblegum to get wall power and bullet boost. We're looking to get an L car with blast furnace. Yep, you heard that right. We are looking for an L car. Oh boy. Now it doesn't actually have to be an L car, it's just the closest wall buy to where we're going to be at for the high round strat, and the damage it does doesn't really matter. It's just blast furnace that we really kind of rely on. So now that we have our pea shooter, our sword, our little Arnie's, and our fist firmly lodged in some alien squid OC, we are fully set up to go all the way to around 100. Remember how we left the spawn door closed? Well, this is why. You see, with the spawn door closed, if we stand anywhere in this area of the junction, the zombies will only be able to spawn from two spots: the store window and the ground spawn where they jump up from. This makes the zombie spawns very quick, very predictable, and easily trainable. Now our high round strat consists of using the sword quick slam attack by this car, moving back and forth to hit the zombie spawning down below, while also clearing a path in front of us in case we need to escape. Once we get to about a third of the charge left, we will step back one last time, then move forward all the way to the window spawn, clearing out all of the zombies both in the under spawn as well as the window spawn. Then we're going to put the sword away with a little bit of charge left. Once it's away, we sprint back to the ground spawn, and we shoot a blast furnace shot into that spawn to kill any zombies that will spawn there for at least a few seconds, and also giving us some charge on the sword. Then we turn around and we should have good timing for a nice gap to run back and train up some zombies from the window, and once we train them all up, we can shoot an Apothecary Servant shot, which will usually give us enough charge to fully charge the sword, and then we can repeat the whole process. Now in the earlier rounds, the zombies weren't really spawning quite quick enough to fully charge the sword from a single Apothecary Servant shot, but if I just train them up a little bit more and shoot one more shot with the blast furnace, that usually does the trick. But once you get up around the 60s and higher, the Apothecary Servant can usually fully charge it with one shot, and it's not that big of a deal. Now the only change to this strategy is the Margwa rounds. After round 12, every 6 or so rounds will be a Margwa round, where one of these big bastards will spawn at the beginning of the round. Normally these would be a pain in the ass to deal with, but we could take them out pretty easily by throwing a little Arnie on this sign in the junction, then running over and calling in the Civil Protector, which will have him spawn right where the little Arnie is and have him drop his absolute nutsack on the Margwa, taking him out in one shot. The Civil Protector will then hang around for a couple rounds, just being annoying, picking up power-ups that I don't want, and killing zombies that would charge my sword, but eventually he leaves and then it's just back to the normal strat. So I was able to continue to use this strat pretty easily all the way up until round 80. Now at the time that I'm recording this voiceover, I've nearly completed all of Black Ops 3, and let me tell you, no spoilers, but round 80 is fucking cursed. So here on Shadows on round 80, I lost track of my Margwa rounds, which isn't really that big of a deal because he makes a loud ass noise when he spawns in, except if a parasite also spawns in at the exact same time and the parasite is closer to you than the Margwa is, the Margwa sound gets like drowned out and you can't hear it. Here's the normal sound of a Margwa spawning in. And here's the sound that it made on round 80 when there was a parasite drowning out the Margwa sound. Now by the time I actually saw the Margwa, it was too late and I took it down. Luckily, right before I went down, I called in the Civil Protector, so he still spawned in and killed the Margwa, and he revived me so I get to keep my quick revive. But at round 80, the Gobblegum machine costs over 250,000 points, so it'll probably be a bit before I could get another Perkaholic, so I just train the zombies around the map and buy the essential perks for this strat. That would be Jug, Widow's Wine, and Stamina. I do eventually get another Perkaholic, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference because the 3 perks I get at this point wouldn't really help me all that much. I don't really shoot my gun besides Blast Furnace, so I don't need double tap. Speed Kill is nice, but again, I don't shoot a whole lot, so I don't need to reload. And I don't even buy a 3rd weapon for Mule Kick because it would probably just mess me up trying to switch between the guns. But after the round 80 debacle, it was pretty smooth sailing from there on out. The max ammo rounds and the random max ammo drops were usually enough to keep me stocked on the Apothecary Servant. I did have to use maybe 1 or 2 uses of alchemical throughout the entire game, but I also just enjoyed training and using Blast Furnace when I got low on ammo and just kind of keeping the Apothecary Servant in my back pocket in case I got trapped. So I probably could have gone through the whole game without using a single max ammo Gobblegum or anything, but I'm not really trying to show off, so I used a couple and just made my life easier. So on round 97, I got my final bug round, and on round 98, I got my last Margwa of the game, which I heard this time, thank you very much. But from there, me and my pal the Civil Protector grinded out the last 2 rounds, and after just over 4.5 hours, round 100 on Shadows of Evil was complete. If you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, as it would mean the absolute world to me. And although I've already completed a few other maps on BO3, please let me know if you have any tips on any of the other BO3 maps, because there's a couple that I'm struggling with.